Welcome back to another video, everyone. It's been a little while, but I am back to bring you a video on something that I recently bought. What I bought in question is this. It is a 3D printed GoPro mount for Nerf tactical rails that I got from Dormlabs on their Etsy for $12 shipped, and I wanted to see how well it works. As probably all of you know, I like shooting wars and HVZ events with my GoPro. However, the problem that I have with it is I have to wear this head strap, which goes over my head, just like this. And it can be kind of annoying to have something pressed against your head for a long period of time and take it off and then put it on, make sure the camera angle is all nice. And camera angle is very important because if it's too high up, you cannot see the blaster in your hands. If it's too low, you can't see straight ahead. So the angle can be quite a nuisance sometimes. And this is kind of tight in your head and it leaves nice little squiggly imprints from the I don't know what it is, but I guess like a non-slipping thing so it doesn't, like, you know, fly off your head or anything. So I was kind of intrigued by the 3D printed mount that Dormlabs was selling, so I bought one. The only items you need for this mount to work are the mount itself, the included nut and bolt, and these two pieces from GoPro Accessories. The little screw that locks everything into place and the receiving end that you know, tightens it up and keeps it there. To mount, you just put your GoPro into whatever case you want to use, slot it in, and then tighten it up with either your hands or a screwdriver, or you can buy the tightening tool that Dormlabs also sells on their Etsy. I'll have their Etsy link in the description, so if you're interested in purchasing one for yourself, you can do that. So once you have that tightened up, it looks just like this. So I was intrigued by this because, as I said, I get tired of wearing the headband, but I am worried that the vibration from the Nerf blasters, whether it be from a really heavy spring combo or the pump action on something, or maybe the motor spinning, will vibrate the camera and make it so your footage is very shaky and not really worth the $12 for the GoPro mount. So on my doors over here, I've set up a little target that I will be aiming at to see how focused it can stay on that target. I will not be putting any stabilization effects on the footage because I want it to be original footage so you can see how much it shakes. And I'm going to be shooting in 720p at 60 frames per second, which on the Hero 2 makes it shoot in a wide angle, which is what I usually use for all my stuff because I like having the wide angle so you can see everything, though the perspective is a little off. I'd rather not shoot in 1080p because that drains the battery faster, and 30 frames per second is not really good for actiony stuff because at 60 frames I can slow things down to where I want and it will still be very smooth and fluid without kind of the choppiness that a lot of slow down 30 frames per second will produce. The blasters I will be using are a good range of stuff. I will be using the Communist Stampede to see how it looks on electronic plundered blasters to see if it works well with the Stampede. I will also be using it on my Strife to see if the motors cause any vibration. And I will be using my Alpha Trooper with a Raider grip on it to see if slam fire has any effect on it at all. I will shoot it with and without a stock to compare that. So I'm going to put my batteries in there, which will be 4 truss fires for the Strife and Stampede, and the Alpha Trooper doesn't take batteries obviously, and we will see how it does. So let me set up everything and I'll be right back. So we're starting with the Alpha Trooper. I'm going to shoot off one Elite mag filled with Elite darts with the stock on and then stock off, and I'm going to record myself firing this while we go. So I'm gonna do, I guess I'll do like 5 regular shots and then the rest will be slam fired. So here we go. I'm gonna turn this on. Alright, let's fire. I'm not worried about accuracy. This is just to see how much the target moves. So here we go. Alright, there's one. Let me take the stock off and reload. Again, 5 and then slam fire. So that's that. Take the GoPro off and we will move on with the Strife next. For the Strife, I have found that if you reverse the GoPro mount and put the screw at the front instead of the back, you will be able to push down that little orange piece much more easily and it will be much more secure that way. Alright, here we go. That's one bag. And here's the second one with the middle finger. Alright, and now I will test it with just the motor vibration itself. And the third and last blaster I will be testing is the Communist Stampede, so let me put this on there, pick up the darts, refill the mags, and we'll go from there. I have the camera mounted onto the Communist Stampede, but I would like to make a few notes. One, if your tack rail is painted, it will have a little bit of a hard time getting on there. I have scratched off some of the paint on this side because it's just a very tight fit, and this was as far as I was willing to push the camera down onto the tack rail because it was just getting to the point where I had to use 2 thumbs with the barrel on the ground and pushing a lot of weight on it, and this was just as far as I was comfortable going with. So this is as far onto the blaster as it will be. I wish it was up here, but that's not going to happen. So for this, I will be shouldering as best as I can. I might just do it like this. And the other one, I'll be holding it out like that. So let's turn on the camera and see how it goes. Alright. And holding it out in front of me. Alright. So there we go, all 3 blasters fired. I'm going to go look at all the footage on my GoPro and then base my conclusion and overall thoughts on the product off of that. So I'm going to go do that really quickly and I'll be right back. Alright, so after watching the GoPro footage, I have to say overall the little mount is pretty good. Now, there are a few things that I would probably do with this. One, do not use it on something that uses a grip in the front as its priming mechanism because the blaster will be shaking and it leads to some shaky footage as you saw. I'll put the firing videos up when I'm doing the firing tests and whatnot. But for things like the Strife and the Stampede, Super Soakers, I guess like the ones that use batteries, it looks really good, and I love the perspective going down the barrel because I think it adds a little bit of a more first-person feel, and you can get an idea of, you know, the person running and them shooting, and it's more, I guess it's more of an immersive thing than having it on the head sometimes. As for the product itself, there are a few things that I need to complain about. One, there are a lot of small pieces involved, and I did drop them a few times and I had to look for them, and that took quite a little bit of time. These 2 pieces are very small, and the little area on the bottom where that nut goes is slightly too large for the nut itself, so it will drop out if you undo the screw too much. So I might just super glue that in place and you know, just kind of let it sit in there permanently. As for the GoPro hardware, the piece that fits on the side right in there is also too small for that hole, so I might go to my hardware store and try and find something that is exactly like the piece from the GoPro and super glue that in there as well. As I said earlier, this doesn't like painted blasters unless you kind of cram it on, and I had to hammer it off with a rubber mallet and it left a slight dent on the back right there. So it will take some damage if you hit it hard enough, but it did come off. Just like with other 3D printed things, if part of this snaps off, you can super glue it back together and it will be just as strong. But overall, this is a pretty little nifty device. I will say it does loosen up over time on the tack rail, so this piece that goes right there is very important to the whole system working. But overall, I'm actually really glad I bought one, and I might buy another so I can have them on 2 blasters so I don't have to change them off of everything. But yeah, I think it's pretty great if you want something that looks down straight down your blaster without buying the GoPro adhesive mounting pieces, so you don't have to build up something just to get it over the top. I highly recommend you get this. $12 shipped, at least it was $12 shipped to me. Is not too bad. Hopefully I'll be able to use it for the upcoming HVZ game that I will be going to in like 2 weeks or so, but we will see, and I think I'd prefer it over my headband for half the time. But we'll find out, and I will put this to the test at that game to see if it can really hold up to real world play. But for now, I say, if you want one, get one. It's pretty worth it. So there you go. Hope you guys have a great day wherever you are, and I'll make another video for you later.